The entire class held its breath as Ryan continued to read the disciplinary measure released by the university. The university has specified that from now on, the players of the basketball team will not be allowed to use the outdoor basketball courts without prior authorization. They will be duly punished if any dispute over the use of the outdoor courts happens again, Ryan read out loud. This piece of news surprised the entire class. At first, they were all sure that the final decision of the college authorities would go against Sam. Yet, he was not punished at all. On top of that, the 4 people on the basketball team who were injured now had to compensate Sam for his medical expenses. Does Sam have a powerful background or something? No wonder he was so calm and collected in the morning. Is Ryan joking? How is it possible that the university would penalize the players on the basketball team? Instantly, a discussion broke out and began spreading to all corners of the classroom. Sam could not believe the news either. He wondered if his ears had failed him. Unlike what his classmates were speculating, it was out of dignity that he tried to remain calm this morning. He did not have an influential background to get him out of this sticky situation. Seeing that people doubted the accuracy of the news he brought, Ryan took out his phone. This is a photo that my friend took and sent to me. If you don't believe it, then go check the display board at the administration building yourselves, he shouted. Ryan passed his phone to his classmates. One by one, the phone was passed amongst them, each one letting out an "oh" after they were done reading. With proof in hand, each of their classmates were convinced. As for Kathy, who was sitting on the first bench as usual, she turned around to observe the guys jumping and running in excitement. Biting her lips, her brows furrowed slightly. Indeed, she did try to help Sam by talking to the school management team. Still, she did not expect the school to favor Sam completely and let him off without any punishment. Moreover, the college did not handle this in a way that would seem fair to both Sam and his roommates, as well as the basketball team. The players were the only ones punished. Plus, with the intercollege match coming up with a rival university, she could not fathom how the authorities could make such a decision. Out of the 6 players of the basketball team, 4 were now dismissed. She couldn't imagine how much it would affect her brother's team. Clutching the pen in her hand, Kathy grew more and more concerned. At this point, she was no longer worried about Sam and Jacob, but how her brother would react to this situation. A few minutes later, their lecturer entered the classroom and instantly stopped the celebrations. However, during the lecture, whispers could be heard all around the classroom. Sam's friends, who were seated in the back, continued to talk amongst themselves excitedly, especially his roommates. One of them lowered their voices and said, "This is such great news. Sam, you have to treat us to dinner now." "I don't even know what's going on." Sam was still a little confused, but he could not hide the blooming smile on his face. The happiness came too soon and too abruptly. Also, Sam did not want to explain himself to those who were still confused by the news. He did not care if people thought he had a powerful background or not. Only Jacob knew what was going on. Yet, he did not want to take credit for it. As long as his friend Sam was fine, he was happy. Also, if anyone found out that this was his doing, there would be way too many questions that he wouldn't be able to answer. Jacob began to imagine Michael's reaction to this news. After class, the crowd was cheering for Sam, and they all asked him for a treat. Since he was in such a merry mood, Sam agreed. At around 4 in the afternoon, Sam treated everyone in the dorm and his class to computer games. And so, the large crowd gleefully headed towards the internet cafe. Once again today, Jacob excused himself and did not join the gamers. Instead, he quietly hurried to the F block. This time, he made sure he was not being followed as he walked towards Susan's office. The door to her office was not locked, as if she was expecting him. When Jacob walked in, he saw that Susan had her eyes tightly shut and was completely immersed in her own cultivation. Gently, he closed the door and sat down in the chair across from her. He did not want to interrupt, so he began quietly cultivating the spirit concentration scroll. A burst of faint energy rushed to all his main acupressure points in a loop, In this continuous loop, it seemed that his body was being nourished and had become incredibly at ease. In addition, Susan's office faced the lawn outside of the building. With its fresh air and serene environment, it was indeed the perfect location in the campus for cultivation. This went on for a while as Jacob absorbed all the energy he could. He had no idea how much time had passed. This gentle and warm energy had filled up half of his body, and he could no longer absorb any more of it. Reluctantly, he opened his eyes. He saw that Susan had also finished her cultivation and was gently looking at him. Calmly, she lifted her hand and picked up the teapot on the table. With her fingers slightly curled around the handle, she started pouring the bright green-colored tea into 2 crystal-clear cups made of white jade. "Please," she uttered, while pointing at one of the cups as she picked the other one for herself. Jacob nodded his head and held up the teacup. As he took a small sip, he felt that its aroma had seeped through and taken root in his mouth. His entire body was becoming light and agile. Silence had taken over the room as a light breeze came in through the window and caused the curtain behind Susan to flutter. "I didn't come yesterday because of an incident that happened in the school," Jacob said, breaking the silence. "Not my concern," Susan stated coldly. Now that his words were met with rejection, Jacob stopped talking. Still, he found it hard to come up with another topic. "The last time I went to the Wildcat Mountain with Sophie's family, I ran into a stone monument in the Dragon Temple situated at the summit. However, I didn't quite understand the writing on it." "Well, see if you can recite it for me," Susan replied. Jacob recalled for a moment and was able to recite the writing for her. Susan listened carefully. When Jacob finished reciting, she explained, "The monument you mentioned was left behind by the Dragon Master when he achieved ascension. It is allegedly his enlightenment about heaven, so it does have a lot of history behind it. However, in the past few hundred years, no one has been able to fully understand the writing. Therefore, even though it is widely known, it is not of much use." Not able to fully understand it? Because of it, I almost had a breakthrough to the 2nd level of the Spirit Concentration Scroll, Jacob thought to himself. "Speaking of the Wildcat Mountain, there is a senior member of the dragon tribe who resides there. The reason Dracon took you to the mountain was probably to visit him," Susan added. Suddenly, she raised her head and muttered to herself, "It seems like he has started to get ready by drawing people over to his side." Now that Susan looked mysterious and preoccupied, Jacob couldn't help but ask her, "What does that mean?" Susan looked at him with her brow slightly furrowed. "Do you think it is so simple to be Dracon's son-in-law?" she asked rhetorically in a condescending tone. After that, she waved her hand and said, "All right, it's 6 now." Knowing that even Helen didn't want to get on the wrong side of Susan, Jacob did not inquire any further and was about to get up and leave. "Actually, wait." Right when Jacob was about to walk out of her office, Susan stopped him and said, "I'll teach you a set of techniques that would allow you to control your strength better so you won't injure people again."
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.